Part 2. Mask is dry. I did some stitching with the twine. I just took a drill bit and drilled some holes. The drill bit just a little bit bigger than whatever size twine you're going to use. So now I need to make the hat. This looks a little ridiculous, but I'm going to be making more. So I've got this foam board here, and I got this bowl. This bowl is just a little bit bigger than the head here. So I'm going to put the bowl down on this foam board, draw around it, and then draw another one all the way out to the edges, and that is going to be for the base / brim of the hat. So I can put the burlap on there with the glue water mixture, get that hard, and then work on making the top of the hat. I don't know if I want a short hat or a hat with a spike laid over, but I got to work on the base first. So you can get this foam board stuff from Dollar Tree, Walmart, pretty much any craft store, I believe. And I think that'll work out good for making a hat. And I am back for the hat. This is that foam board. Like I say, I just measured out for the inside for the top of the head. The outside, I just kind of did a weird circle. I don't want it to look, you know, symmetrical. I want it to look just weird. I've got some burlap sheets cut, or strips cut out. I'm just gonna lay it over this circle here. I'm just gonna lay them irregularly on top here. Just kind of like so. So I'm going to go through and do the glue water mixture, and I'm going to cut everything and tuck it in on the inside and roll it over on the outside, and then I'll flip this over and do the same thing on the other side. That way the base of the hat is done. And then I'll come back in the top and I'll start building the hat coming up. I think I'm going to go, I don't know, I really want to do the one that comes up to a point and kind of bends over. I really haven't thought about how I'm going to do that yet too much, but that's the idea for the hat. I think it's going to harden up and be a perfect looking Scarecrow hat once we add some straw and some nasty paints and everything on here, but this is going to make for a good base. So you just cut everything and tuck it in so it's, you know, round looking on the inside, and then tuck everything over on the outside, and then flip it over once this part's dry and do the same thing on the other side. All right, I've got everything, both sides. It's just wrapped over and hot glued. Got my glue mixture here. I'm just gonna do up one side, and then I'll go sit it outside for the night. Then come back in the morning, flip it over, and do the other side. Let that dry up, and then attack the top of the hat. What's up, y'all? I'm back for part 2 of the Scarecrow. Got the brim of the hat is all done, ready to do the top. But I gotta rewind a little bit. So I'm gonna call this, actually, instead of part 2, 1.2. Because I've been told by a very important boss in my life that this thing looks absolutely stupid and it's not gonna freak anybody out. That being my 7-year-old daughter. So I gotta rethink this. I got the mannequin head over here. I got some more burlap. I'm gonna start a different one. So yeah, I mean, it does look pretty retarded, or not retarded, but it does look pretty lame. It does look pretty lame, so yeah. This one looks much better. It just doesn't fit me. That one, lame-o. My daughter was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna scare anyone." Like, yeah, you're right. It's lame. Time for a new one. Same as before. Take the burlap, wrap it over your mannequin head. This is built up so it'll actually fit my head. Elmer's glue and water, and large hair tie to hold that thing tight at the neck. I did have to go get some more glue. Just so you know, this stuff is $11.97 from Walmart. I looked on Amazon and what I found was a little more expensive, so you can go get it from Walmart for 12 bucks. Get that wrapped over the head, and then I'll set up the camera. Okay, just remember to do this in a place where you don't care it's gonna get stuff everywhere, because as soon as you start cutting this burlap, little fibers are gonna go everywhere. So I'm out in the garage as usual. Gonna give, like I say, these buckets hold the neck of those mannequin heads from Michael's perfectly. So got the face to the face, so when I need to lift up the burlap and see where the face is, try where the face of the pumpkin is. I'm going to take the corner of the burlap and put it out towards the face, so it has that kind of V section going out like the typical Scarecrow look. And what I found is you don't need a whole lot. Just kind of go to the base of the pumpkin, and that'll be plenty of material. And I'm going to wrap most of it this time towards the front, because I really want to be able to do a lot of folds in the front on this one. So that's it. You just kind of start it like that. I've got the material just past the height of the mannequin on the pumpkin head, and I'm going to put this hair tie around the neck, and then I'm going to come through and cut some off, and I'm going to try to get some folded sections how I want it, and then I'll worry about mixing the glue. Definitely going to be investing in a bigger mannequin head. Okay, so here's the nose on the mannequin, or mannequin head, or whatever it's called, foam form. So I got it tied around the neck and the base of the skull. I feel like that's big enough for my head there. I'm just going to try to start folding up the face here. I'm going to look and get some pictures or ideas that I would like. I'm going to cut off the excess material around the shoulder area on this side. This side here is fine. And then I'll start mixing the glue and forming. Alright, so my plan on this one, I got a bunch of the material pulled around. I'm going to start up high on the forehead and put a little hot glue just to kind of mark the nose area. And then I can fold it in and start the mouth area. Or actually, maybe I'll fold it in and then get the eyebrows working, and then do the mouth. I'm going to approach it like that. So I'm just going to put this on speed up while I work on this. All right, I got the material kind of where I want it, just with hot glue. Now I'm gonna do the glue water mixture and come back and start attacking it and do some finer details on this. All right, glue water mixture's done. Cheap Dollar Tree brush. It's time to just start coating this thing. I will kind of start right up here and then I'll work my way down here. Okay, I think this one's gonna look a lot better. Definitely doesn't look as silly. So I'll let this dry up and then add some more layers. Hopefully the little 7-year-old boss lady approves. All right, just want to give an idea on what I'm working on here. So this is all dry, and I do have the eyebrows a little bigger than I want. So what I've done is cut some weird shaped pieces, and I'm just coming over the top of that eyebrow line just to give it that kind of, like when you make a mad or a mean face, how you kind of squint your eyebrows down. So I'm kind of gonna go for that. Same thing over here. And I'm gonna leave a space up here in between these, and I'm not gonna glue all the way out. I'm gonna glue about a 1/2 inch away. So this 1/2 inch here will still be flexible. And I'm gonna paint in between there black, maybe some red, and then I'll do the same thing on this side, and then I'm gonna stitch from this one to this one. And that way it'll look like it's ripped open in black or bloody in there, whichever color we decide to go with. So that is what I'm gonna start on right now. All right, so I think I've got that eyebrow on this side laid out how I want it. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of hot glue in places just to hold it in place. Do this other side, and then I'll start making the folds around the back or the sides wherever I need to. And maybe I'll work on maybe something with the mouth here. But I think the face is gonna be good once I do the eyebrows. Plus it's very breathable right now. I mean, all this right here is like super breathable. So I don't really wanna cover any more of that up. And this is all gonna be painted black in here. Kind of black and brown in here, in between these folds. And then I wanna do some really dark brown on the cheek areas, the nose. I'm gonna do some stitching across the nose, eventually have some stitching on the eyes, and then, you know, maybe just like some stitching coming across like that for the mouth, and then also like that, so it's just a couple of big X's. I'm gonna get this glued in place right now.
Giving myself about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of play on the edge of this material, so I can do the same thing on the other side and have an area where it looks like it's stitched up, holding it together. You don't want to work too far down on the back here until you get situated on this side. I will say this burlap is really easy to work with, because once you start folding it and make it touch itself, it just kind of almost has like a Velcro effect to it. So that is really cool, because it just holds it in place almost for you. Take it somewhat like that. Here. You got a little bit of time to move it around while this hot glue is drying. But I will say, once this hot glue dries up, it's almost impossible to rip it apart on this burlap without destroying the burlap.
So when you're doing your initial face sculpt, if you don't quite get it right, like myself, just come back over it with other pieces, and at least you'll have a structure to go off of. So, and that's actually a good idea anyway, because you want to build up at least a couple layers so this thing is nice and strong and will hold up over time. And I think that stitch down the middle is going to look great. I wish I would have done something where I have like a seam here, but that's how this one's gonna have to be for this go around. Little glue down there. You don't want to start working too deep under the chin. Just kind of go to just where the chin is and maybe just a little bit past. You don't want to go any further than that, because then it's very difficult to get off the mannequin head and a little difficult to get on your head without having to cut up higher in the back. So that's kind of how the left eye is going to be. I think that looks all right. It's got a nice big bone structure right here. And you can lay it, if you don't like it, once you get it glued kind of how you like it, when you start putting your school glue on there, you can push it down. I think I'm going to leave it raised up like that. So I'm going to do the same deal over here. And then I'll be right back. All right. I believe I have the sculpt where I would like it. I just went through and glued around the edges, made some slits so everything could lay nice and flat around the sides and the back. Like I said, up here, I left the glue back 1/2 inch to 3/4 on both sides. This is going to get painted here, and then these two are going to get stitched across. So I'm going to do the glue water mixture up to that glue point and leave this and this loose. And that comes back to just about the crown of the head. And I just went around and just made slits or cuts wherever I needed to get this to lay flat. And I did not come all the way down to the base of the skull back here, so I'm gonna have to cut this. This is pretty hard right here anyway, so this second layer being hard up to here is gonna be enough, and I gotta cut the slit right here anyway to fit it over my head. Hopefully it fits over my head. So I'm gonna do the glue water mixture now. Get a coating on that second layer, sorry, and then get this thing out in the sun to dry. Hopefully come back tonight. Oh yeah, actually here on the back, where I had a nice big hole here, so I just shoved a little triangle piece up in here, and I'm leaving this open right here. So I'm gonna paint this red and make it look like that's ripped open there too. Do a little bit of stitching across here. This here I'm just gonna glue down around the edges there in the back. So I'll get the glue mixture going and get a coat on this. And all I'm doing is just brushing it on and then putting it out in the sun to dry. All right, got some black in here, some dark brown, some fake blood on here. I got red in here, some red on the, or actually just black here in the back. So it's time to do some stitching. Maybe some more touch-up paint too. I don't have a big needle, so this is what I'm doing. I got this roll of twine from Dollar Tree, and all this here on the end is one of these, it's one of those shrink wraps for wires when you connect wires. And I just shoved it down on the twine and heated it up. So this is going to help me poke it through the burlap. And since I don't have a needle, I can't shove a needle through here. So I just got a drill bit, just a little bit bigger than the twine I'm going to use, and I'm just going to go through and drill holes, and then I'll shove it through. So that's how this one's going to be. So I think maybe I'll just do a cross on these eyes. Very simple. Actually, you want to cut out way more than you think you'll need. That way you can go to the end of the line. So I got a real long section here. I'm just going to take the end of it and just tie a couple of knots in it. That way it won't slip through the hole that I've drilled. And that'll be the beginning.
I'm just going to find the hole that I drilled right up there and just put this wire connector through it. Pull it all the way through. And that's it, right there. You can trim off the excess if you want, or you can leave it. So I think I'm going to crisscross these. Same thing, poke it through your hole. Pull it through. I'll go one more here, and then I'm going to come from the other direction. Careful with your fingers. So I'll go one straight down. And then I'll go across like that. Go one more there. That should be good for that eye. Then I'm just going to take and wrap it around this last one I did. Make sure you get everything pulled tight, as tight as you want. And then just tie a couple of knots in that last stitch you did. And then just cut off the knot and cut off.
And that is how you can do a really easy stitch job. So I'm going to do this eye, some on the nose and the mouth. I got to get some across the top here, make that look good. Maybe a little bit here in the back where I left it to look like a hole. And then I will be back. All right. Got some hair on it. There's some straw. That is what it looks like. I just hot glued this straw on here and used spray glue also. Not the best, but it'll work. Okay, well, I lied. I am going to finish the hat. I forgot I had this brim done. So I just found where I want the front to be. Got a couple of burlap pieces left over. And I'm just going to take the factory edge where it's made up by the factory, and I'm going to hot glue that around the brim, around there. I'm just going to hot glue all this around, and then I'm just going to work it to some kind of a point and lay it over.
This hot glue actually holds this burlap really good.
Just gonna take this all the way around, hot glue, and then I'll be back. Okay, that's it. Got the hat done. It's just hot glued up. I'm gonna fold it over, maybe attach it with some hot glue over there, or just leave it like that. I think it came out all right. Looks pretty good with the shirt on. Goes on the head pretty easy. I got that slit in the back to pull it around and put it on the head. I got the rope for the neck. So it goes on pretty easy here. Pull that slit apart. Slides right on. I'm gonna go on YouTube and figure out how to tie a noose, because I think the noose looks better with the Scarecrow look. But just for now, I will just do something like that. Of course, this stuff's gonna be out. I think this is the front here. I forget. Yeah, this should be the front right here. Not too bad. Oops, sorry about that. I think it'll be good enough for this year's Halloween. I'm gonna get some paint on it and get it nasty looking. Some fake blood. But even if I end up just using this for a prop next year, I think it'll be just fine. So, appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for sticking through the video. Got plenty more to come. Halloween's tomorrow, 2022. And as soon as I have all my decorations down and stored away for Halloween, I'm gonna be starting on Christmas stuff, and I got some really good stuff coming.